Alliance.
Thank you very much, Joe. Indeed, standing by with tabs. After that victory over Millenium, very convincing once again. And now that we have you here, we got to pick your brain about the changes in 4.10. You've been very vocal already about it. So let's start by the picks in this game, particularly you going for the Caitlyn over maybe the Lucian in this one. Why?
Yeah, because the BT change made BT a lot worse item to rush, and the characters who relied on it, like Lucian was really good with it, so his priority went down. And you can pick other picks like Caitlyn that can just go IH and stall the game, and then they'll be really strong later on.
It definitely turned out that way. You had a third item, Mercurial Scimitar, picked up. I know there's been a lot of talk about the strength of the movement speed buff that it gives once you cleanse abilities off. Talk to me about why you entered in this game, and also, what are some of the other items we should be looking out for on the AD carries you're currently playing?
Oh yeah, so the Mercurial Scimitar pickup was mainly because they had a Leona and a very heavy magic damage team, so they had LeBlanc, Eve, and Leona. So it was very assassin-based. I wanted to survive it, so building a Mercurial Scimitar in 4.10, it doesn't really decrease your damage at all because it gives 80 AD now. So you can easily get it as third item, not lose much damage, and gain a ton of survivability. And about new items to look out for, like Reckless already played the Ruined King into Ghostblade build. It's very strong. Getting IH third, Last Whisper fourth, gives you very high damage output and scaling throughout the game.
I want to quickly ask about the support itemization. We're seeing different routes. Nif obviously still going for the Crucible in this game, once again, obviously because of the heavy CC. We're seeing some of the other supports going for the likes of Aegis of the Legion. How much has the support itemization changed in 4.10 as well?
So before 4.10, everyone would just get a Michaels because the item was really cheap and very strong in every situation. Even if you didn't need the cleanse, the heal was really strong. So now we see the Ardent Sensor sometimes, Aegis being picked up. It's more situational what the supports build, and they can adapt better.
Let's talk more about the itemization in the patch, but then look at this game as well, because as you said, you had the Caitlyn, you were building up to your Infinity Edge. How many times do you look at the items of the opposing AD carry? Because Lucian actually went BF Sword first, and you mentioned how you have to wait for those power spikes to come in. Did you see that, and how did you react?
Well, I knew I would outscale him eventually if he went for the Infinity Edge, because Caitlyn's range in late game is ridiculous. So you can outscale a Lucian that goes the same build. So I was like, it's no problem. I'll just go mid and keep farming, and eventually we'll reach that point.
Well, that leads us very nicely onto a replay that I'd like to actually pull up onto the screen. It is a dragon fight where you guys end up trading 1-for-1. Let's take a look at this dragon fight and talk to me. You guys start the dragon out. What were the comms like? How were you reacting as we roll this one through?
Okay, so first off, we notice they're out of position, we go for Dragon. Now they engage on us, we kite back to the right. Me and Frog and try to stay together and just focus the first guy who just jacks here. And now Eve overextends and just gets poked down. Now they're all very low, but Frog still has his ult, I think, so he can chase. So now we chase the Evelyn, and I think I just flash on him and kill him later. Like here, we try to kill Lucian, but we don't have enough damage. And now I just flash on the Eve and we kill her.
At what item threshold are you just like, I'm terrifying on Kate? Is it really just IE and Shiv, and that's it, you're all in?
Yeah, after 2 items, you start scaling upwards really hard, especially because every BF item is 80 AD now, so you can hit some ridiculous AD damage points. Like I had 450 AD at one point, and it's just you crit for 1k.
Talk me through one other pick maybe that you guys came out with as you guys were up against LeBlanc one more time, and people said, well, that the silence is removed. It might not be so good versus Twisted Fate, but Froggen seemed very confident, obviously, but still, Curb coming up very strong.
Yeah, so Curb did pretty well. Like, if LeBlanc still gets rolling, like she can still kill TF because she still has the same damage, she just doesn't have the silence. So if TF is slightly ahead or even, he can counterplay by picking cards while she's trying to jump him.
It definitely worked out that way. I do feel like we're throwing a whole lot of questions at you. Thank you for dealing with them. One final question is, if we step back, Alliance is now 11-2 on the split. You guys are absolutely playing out of your minds. How do you keep this level up, considering there's a Super Week next week and Worlds and playoffs around the corner?
Yeah, we just have to keep practicing really hard and try to come up with new strategies, new picks, adapt to the new patch all the time. So we're doing a lot of thinking and just trying to figure out what our next step should be.
All right, well, it's always fun to pick your brain tabs, and we also picked the brain of the people at home, and at the start of the show, we asked you to pull out your tweets and let us know which European LCS player has had the biggest impact so far on this split and why. And here's what you had to say. The first one is from @Heckmeister. Easily, it is Tabs. He's never been a flashy AD carry who impresses up front, but at no moment does he ever disappoint. Must be fun to hear.
Care to respond?
Yeah, actually, I think playing aggressive as AD carry is very good, especially in Season 4. You can just flash forward and get kills without putting yourself in a bad position. So I try to play as aggressive as I can.
Oh, we like to see that. The second one is from @YoungJinxie. It has to be Cotnex. He's breathed life back into Millenium and stepped up to fill Arenea's shoes well. And I gotta say, even when Millenium doesn't win, his presence is always there.
I completely agree, and I would dare say not only has he filled Arenea's shoes, he's exceeded them. We talked about the win-loss ratio. Before Cotnex joined, it was 9 wins, 17 losses. Now it's 9 wins, 10 losses. So you're closer to that 50-50 for Millenium.
The last one is at @AndersTV. Yellow Star, despite Fnatic's recent inconsistency, Bora remains a bastion of stability for his team. Tabs, you've played against him a lot. Solid support.
Yeah, he's really good.
He landed a whole lot of death sentences today.
Absolutely great game from him. Well, thank you very much for those answers, and we'll see how those players perform in the rest of the summer split. Remember to follow us @LOL Esports and use the hashtag LCS to join in on the conversation. Well, thank you very much, Tabs. As for us, we've got to recall back to base for a quick break, but we'll be right back as the super hot crew faces off against Gambit Gaming on the Field of Justice.